This is architect Takbir from Design Aware, an experimental architecture and interdisciplinary design studio with a special concentration on accessible and socially responsible design. It's been an inspiring experience being a part of this open call, and we believe it's a commendable step in the right direction towards affordable housing. We believe that though architects are ideators, we must also be activists and advocates of socially responsible and community building design. Before we began thinking about the affordable housing, we outlined the guiding principles of the idea, as we do with every project that we work on. Availability of affordable housing is a fundamental right of every citizen. Affordable housing is not necessarily low quality housing. What is needed is less isolation, more community, less energy use, more green spaces, less glass, and more natural ventilation, less maintenance, but more shared responsibility, less fear and more safety, less uniformity, more diversity, less exclusion and more accessibility, less neglect and more ownership, less shame and more pride. Here are a few places where we can draw inspiration from. The neighborhood concepts of architect Balakrishna Doshi, especially incremental housing, in this case, Aranya low-cost housing in which life, work, and play happen concurrently and simultaneously at the same time, at the same space, and residents co-design their dwelling units with shared spaces between houses that become valuable community spaces that elevate the experience of living together. Residents feel a sense of ownership towards their neighborhood and a sense of pride in taking care of it and of one another. The 100-Step Garden by Tadao Ando is a response to a devastating earthquake, showing that a place that has been ravaged by tragedy can instead grow and flower into a life-affirming, positive, and optimistic symbol instead. Instead of trying to fit in as many units as possible, which ultimately leads to jam-packed flats with no shared open spaces, we aim for an optimum number of living units interspersed with breathing spaces in the form of wide corridors and shared green spaces. Being at a high altitude, these spaces can begin to make up for the lost connection to the ground and garner a sense of community, shared ownership, and pride within the building. Just as the rock-cut caves with dwellings within, which can be seen in many civilizations around the world, this particular example being from Turkey, we see a connection to nature and unpredictable diversity in the facade. The proposal shows the possibility not only of accessibility for citizens of diverse backgrounds, but also of provisions of varying sizes of apartments that can cater to a wide range of individuals, groups, and families. The aim was to create a range of possibilities as well as to ensure direct sunlight and natural ventilation for all spaces, something that's often missing in apartments. The floor plates shift in area after every 4 stories, providing optimal ventilation, shade, maximum floor coverage in response to the skewed plot boundary. So the building, instead of being a monolithic tower block, depicts diversity in and out, its form changing from every viewing angle. The resultant design has around 1,000 units of varying sizes and configurations, ranging from 800 square feet to 1,800 square feet. Access to affordable housing is the fundamental right of every citizen, regardless of background, education, financial status, age, or ability. Public housing must cater to the needs of the lowest common denominator with the highest possible amenities that make a house a home and a housing project a neighborhood.